Yeah.
But I will say that, like continuing what we were talking about beforehand,
Mm.
is that, yeah, we just signed another $3,500 today.
Fire.
Recurring is starting to kick in.
Nice.
We restructured our pitch deck to go from 30 days to 90 days. So we have 90 days to deliver.
Yes.
That time frame is longer. People are less stressed, and recurring is starting to kick in. And it's damn strange to be like, look, I get to sit in a basement all day, dick around on the internet, shoot some videos, and we're this close away from having $1 million a year recurring business. Like, that's nuts.
It's amazing.
Right?
It's amazing. It's amazing.
And what I really like about your journey is, like mine, like I had to start all over from scratch and bet on myself.
Yep.
Like when I was trying to earn my keep and start everything all over again, I literally left home. Like I lived in Miami and I said, fuck it. I can't do it here either because it doesn't exist or I don't think it exists. So I left. I think you had a similar journey too, right?
Yeah. I mean, I'm now like thousands of miles away from my family and friends. I'm in San Diego, so by myself. I don't know anyone here. I have a couple friends that live like an hour and a half, 2 hours away, but besides them, I'm like totally by myself. It's like the nightmare mode, what Alex Becker calls it. Just leave your family and friends behind and not necessarily burn the ships, but bet on yourself, like you said, because I think there's so much distraction out there already. I mean, we're easily distracted wherever you go, so it's like even more distracted when you're around people that you're comfortable with all the time. It's just hard to grow business like that, especially when you're looking to get to the level that we're looking to get to.
So where did you live before San Diego?
So I originally moved to Colorado to work with Joel and Marcos. So
yeah.
I actually like drove from Georgia to Colorado. I got there, 19 hours. I had 1 hour sleep. As soon as I got there, it was Monday morning, and I started working. That same day.
No shit.
Swear to God, I will never forget that.
Okay, all right. Before we go into that, let's go back to, you were in the state of Georgia.
Yes.
Right? So bring us back to then. What was it like? Like, what was your scenario environment? Because everyone's like, it's so cool to be coasting at the top, but people watch this to know where everyone came from, right?
So I actually had a call with a young lady yesterday, explaining her this, because like exactly like 2.5 years ago, I was driving for Uber and Lyft. I just signed up for classes for my 4th semester in college, which I'm not a school person, so I knew I was wasting my time and money there. And I just got a job at Whole Foods. I was literally about to start my day one at Whole Foods. So I thought I had it all figured out. I'm 21 years old, making just enough money to breathe. I'm living with my parents, so I don't have much bills. And, you know, just going day in and day out. I knew that eventually something like this was going to happen. I genuinely did, but you can never, we're lucky. I tell everybody this, like if you live in the United States, right, or anywhere in the world, and you have the opportunity to be inside of this industry, you're lucky. You're now a lucky person. The question is, are you lucky with skill set and hard work where you're going to take advantage of this lucky, or are you just going to let it slip? So, yeah, I mean, I was just signed up for college, just got a job at Whole Foods, and then, you know, thought I had it all figured out. Like, I don't know what you were doing before, Jeff, but we both come from like Jewish households, so the expectations are super high, right?
You're not a doctor, lawyer, accountant. What am I going to tell everyone at synagogue?
Literally. But not only that, I'm not a doctor, lawyer, accountant. I'm also almost a high school dropout. If my parents did not beat my ass, I would have dropped out of high school. Dropped out of college twice now, and I'm not religious, so I'm literally the ultimate anti. Like,
you got black sheep to like get out. Like, there's no coming back.
Correct. And then my parents are like, you know, there's like Jewish, but my parents, like, I'm from Israel. Like I speak fluent Hebrew. My parents, like, you know, I literally have like, I rep this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, you come to my house, you'll see the Israeli flag.
I rep this shit.
Yeah. So it's like, it's a different ballgame when you're like, oh, we're Jewish. No, it's like my parents are Russian Jews. Like, it's a different like set of expectation. So I feel like I knew that what they wanted me to do, they saw it as succeeding to them, so they can talk to their friends like, oh, my son's in school, he's studying psychology. But I also knew that for me, I'm wasting my money and time, and I'm like, why am I here? This is not anything that I want to do. I'm making them happy, which is amazing, but I'm not making myself happy. And ultimately, you got to make yourself happy. So thankfully, I was best friends with Marcos, like literally one of the closest people in my life, and he had ended up partnering up with Joel probably like 8 months before. And I actually came to visit them in March. So March of 2018, I came to visit Marcos, you know, hung out in Colorado. And he was explaining to me a little bit about the business because they just crossed 10, 15K a month. They were going after chiropractors. And I just met Joel. And I'm telling you, and Jeff, you know this, you know what Joel is. What you guys see Joel now, he's always been like this. When they were at 10 to 15K a month, I've never seen someone so obsessed. He could not stop talking about business and chiropractors and how to scale and all this stuff. I to date, I've never seen someone so passionate. I'm in any like virtue of my life. I was just shocked. I was like, whoa, dude. I was in Colorado, got high. I'm like stone talking to this kid. I'm like, I don't know if I'm making a good impression. Like, this guy probably hates me.
Mm-hmm.
Turns out I made a great impression. 5 months later, he calls me, offers me a job, which I actually turned down. People don't know this. I turned the job down because I signed up for school, about to start Whole Foods, got everything. I'm comfortable. And something that's super cool, which I started talking about it more. One of the things that I was doing when I was driving for Uber is I had a journal, and I actually handed people my journal and asked them to give me advice for a 21-year-old. So I got like 200 to 300 responses of people just giving me advice.
Cool.
So I literally have this journal. I'm eventually going to publish it one of these days. But one of my last days, literally my last day working for Uber, I asked people, as well as my best friend Ethan, I was like, yo, should I do this? And then like all three of these people, like, dude, if you're 21 years old, like go bend yourself. Worst case scenario, you come back home, you go back to school.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Best case scenario, you might be living in San Diego 2 years in a 1-bedroom apartment overlooking the city. So literally Friday, I made the decision. I'm like, I'm making this happen. Told my parents Friday night, and then Sunday I was on the way from Georgia to Colorado with $100 in my pocket. Like literally my parents handed me, I had no money, so my parents handed me $100 to make it to like McDonald's and like gas.
Mm-hmm.
So I ended up in Marcos's and Joel's house and started the journey. I was confused. I had no idea what they were doing. Like today, I literally took me 3 to 4 months to figure out what we were actually doing, because they were all over the place. They actually were, even though they were at like 30, 40K a month, they had no sales systems. They gave me a script and cold calls, and I was just like, all right, I guess I'll just start cold calling. We had no demo, no intro. When I say this, like, this was our sales process. Marcos would get on calls with people, schedule a follow-up, and then this is crazy, he would share his screen, and it's the kickoff form.
Mm-hmm.
So they're filling out the kickoff form. They have no idea what they're signing up for. And then at the very end, do you want to move forward option 1, which is $2,000, or option 2 is $3,000? And I'm like, what are we selling them? I don't even know. I remember looking at him and being so confused, because I was recording the calls, listening to it back home when I'm trying to get better. So for 3 months, we did not have a demo. I had no clue what we were selling. And on top of that, I wasn't very good. So not only was I not good, because I wasn't an amazing salesperson. I sold cars here and there, but I was just not that good. So it took a long time, Jeff, just like you. I mean, like, you're now finally, like, now it's starting to crack on a regular basis. But it took us time because, first off, we were patient. Second off, we never stopped working. And third off, like, we also surround ourselves with people that are always better. Me and you are not shy of investing in ourselves, right?
No, not at all. I spend way too much money on myself. Yeah.
I know. Sometimes it's like, whoa, maybe like Chase sometimes calls me like, yo, you need to stop doing that. Like, stop buying programs. Like,
yeah. All right. So before we go into that, all right, let's take a step back. So like, you barely graduated high school. You dropped out of college, and you're at this point that most early 20s, mid 20s, it's like, am I going to be what I think I should be, or am I going to be what my parents think I should be? Correct. And you hit that fork in the road of like, all right, I'm going to sign up for college again. I'm going to take this seriously. I'm going to get a job, and there's going to be health insurance, and I'm contributing to my 401k, and this is going to be my life. And then the day before you signed up and you're going to walk in, you say, fuck it, I'm going to Colorado.
Quite literally, Monday was, that Friday is when I made the decision. Monday is the first day of Whole Foods. The following Monday was the first day of school, college. He's thinking he's going to help me find a room. So I told my parents, I'm going to stay with Joel, and blah, blah, blah. I ended up driving there, not having a place to stay. The first week and a half, I slept with my friend. He lives in a van. So I slept with him in a little van, cramped up, so confused. I'm like, what the
Wait, hold on a second. You're a homeless in Colorado.
Homeless in Colorado, right? That's right.
College dropout, saying, you know what, fuck it, let's just do it and see what happens. Is that right?
Quite literally.
Yo, at this point, are your parents like, they're not particularly proud of you, right?
Let's just say that the truth was not told. Because if they knew if they knew my first 5 months in Atlas, I think my parents would have drove up and grabbed me and like dragged me back home. So I had to lie to them. Sometimes lying is the good thing. Sometimes if you lie about what's gonna happen and what will happen, I think that could be a good thing. It's almost like a fake it till you make it kind of thing. So I told them, I have a home. They're gonna give me salary and all that stuff. So
like I remember reading Steve Jobs' biography, and the way he would lie, they called the like reality distortion field. It's like you just
Yes.
keep repeating it, and after a while, it becomes true, and everyone's like,
Yes.
I guess he was right. And I
Correct.
guess that's where you are with your journey. And so far in
I
the
am.
story, like, all right, you say, screw it. This is my one last hoorah. I'm going to
Yeah.
bet on myself and see what happens. You drive all the way over. You're sitting down and you're like, now what? So like what was your first 3, 4, 5, or 6 months trying to sell chiropractors? Like, what was that like?
It's tough because I didn't know shit about chiropractic, first off, which is not good because when you try to sell chiropractors and you don't know what chiropractors are, it's very difficult. Second off, I didn't know anything about Facebook ads or marketing or funnels or any of the stuff that we are aware of today. And then third off, I wasn't good. I was not confident. If you guys hear my first few cold calls, they're literally so bad. I was talking to Jana, who's the COO of Atlas yesterday, and she says like once or twice a month, if she wants to have a giggle, she'll go back to listen to my old calls of how bad they were because they were so bad. Like people think they're bad now. Like mine were really bad. Like I had no idea. So all the chips were against me. Like imagine like blackjack, I have like a 2 and a 7. Everybody else has 21s. Like there's no way, you know what I mean? Like terrible. I got handed a terrible hand, and you know, at the same time, like I had to bet on myself because they had a system. The thing about Joel Mark was that they had 20, 30 chiropractors. They were doing about 30K a month back to back to back. So to me, I was like, okay, so they have something going for them, even though they did tell me that they had a $500,000 company, which sold me. And then I realized, wait, you guys are only at 30K. Like you're not at $500,000.
But times 12 months in a year, and it's almost,
Yeah, you know, it's almost there. But I told everybody, all my friends, I was like, yeah, they're $500,000. They're good. Really, they had like 40K in the bank.
Yeah.
So they bet on me, and I had to bet on myself, right? They were the first people to really give me this type of chance. So first 2, 3, 4 months, I mean, it was cold calling all day. It was cold email calling, and he's emailing. And this is where the cold email masterclass came from, which I think obviously you've seen it. Because I was sending out emails every day, and I was getting some responses, and I kept on playing around with it. And eventually, I got the one with it, yes or no, and that worked really great. So we took that email. We probably got thousands of responses throughout like 3 or 4 or 5 months. And I was like, whoa, this email works really great. So we ended up selling, a good bit of them. But the worst part, this is where the worst part is I was on salary for 3 to 4 months as a salesperson. That's not good. You don't ever want to pay a salespeople salary. This is just more 101, right? So Joel Marcos invested nearly $10,000 into me before I brought them a penny back. So pressure was on me, right? 4 months goes by. December, I had a horrible December. Like I think I closed 1 client. We ended up closing 10 total. 8 of them came from Marcos. 1 came from me. 1 came from Joel, who he's not even supposed to close. And then January, they sent me down. This is January 2019. They were like, yo, man, like we love you. Thank you for making this move. But like, this doesn't happen now. It's like you might want to go drive back to Georgia. And I told myself when I made this drive, I am never making this drive again. That was the worst drive of my life. It's 20 hours of driving through nothing. Kansas, by the way, if you guys live in Kansas, shout out to Kansas.
Flat.
I don't know what's there. What is there? I drove through nothing for 6 hours. I'm like, what is here? There's like gas stations.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was something.
So all right, so you get the sit down. And this is another fork in your road, right? And by the way, I had my own version of the sit down because the first 90 days of me trying to build my Facebook ad agency, I was telling everybody, buy my Facebook ads, buy my Facebook ads. Nobody wants that. That's not like a thing. Like nobody's like, hey, buy microchips. Like nobody makes a purchasing decision that way, right? You have to like sell what they want. And then the thing is what they use to get there. So like, hey, do you want more customers? Facebook ads does it. It took me 90 days of everybody saying no for my brain to finally be like, all right, there's a different way. And so I had that own sit down. So did you have like what was that experience like for you?
Yeah, it was that. It was really took me. I'm a slow learner, which is probably not a good thing. But like once I figured things out, like I'm an unstoppable person. Like this is the same thing happened in school. As soon as I figured out, I was like, okay, this is how you do it. Good luck stopping me. It did take me a long time to figure it out. I think I was distracted. There was just things going on in my life. I was broke, so it was just like. Things were not falling the places that I wanted to, but I completely 100% blame myself. I never blame Marcos and Joel for me not being on a full calendar, right? I never blame them for not, because at the time, this is where this gets crazy. From August up until late December, I didn't even know paid ads existed. I had no idea that you can get inbound. I thought the whole time we were going to scale to 100K, 200K is through cold calls, cold email, and referrals. That's it. Yep. Or maybe like going to offices and stuff like that. So as soon as Joel partnered up with Mark, and he was telling me like, yo, by the way, we're about to start filling the calendar with paid ads. I was like, That's a thing? What?
That's a thing.
Oh my
Yeah.
God. And once that happened, now there's real pressure on me because before, I'm not closing, but they're not spending that much money, right? Cold email, VAs. Now they're spending thousands of dollars a month. They're booking my calendar. Now there's pressure on me. So I remember they sat me down. They're like, "Hey, Amir, we need you. The quota for the month is $5,000. Just $5,000. Essentially 3 chiropractors. Close them, and then you were good." This was like the first week of January. I ended up closing 5,000 that day, and then like 7,000 that week, and I never looked back from since. Like they put me on that quota, and I was like, I gotta make this shit happen. Now they're spending money on me. They've already invested thousands of dollars into me. Like I feel bad. Like clearly, the ROI is down right now. There's no ROI. Pressure is on me. Most people, unfortunately, Jeff, I'm sure you know this. In my shoes, they would already quit before making it to January, or when they got the quota, they would have folded because most people fold under pressure, which is just the reality of things.
So let me ask you this: so your sales journey was like cold emailing and cold calling in the beginning, and moved into paid ads.
Yeah.
Was there a distinct difference in the quality of conversations between those two channels? Or was it more like, I just got to man up and do what I got to do best? Like which path do you think that went down?
I would say it's a little bit of both because the cold email, I think it's great. Like one of the things that I tell every single person that's in the new space, and I did an interview with Gary Gregg with Climb, you're familiar with.
Yep.
I think cold calling is a great way to start because you get very comfortable on the phone and you get to fail all the time.
A lot.
On your face, and nothing happens. The worst thing that happens is that you're wasting time. That's fine. But when you're starting out, your time is not worth much. Like if you have 0 clients, sorry, your time is not worth your time. You're right. Your time is technically worth $9 an hour right now. Sorry.
Yep.
Your value's not there. So cold calling in the beginning is a very good way to start, just to get comfortable on the phone and practice reps. And guess what? If you make thousands of calls a week, you're going to get 1 client. I genuinely believe that. So I think it's a little bit of both. It gave me the leverage where I'm learning a lot about chiropractic. I'm failing on my face. I got very comfortable on the phone, right? One of the things that I got good with is I got comfortable at being uncomfortable. Now I thrive under uncomfortable situations. I thrive under them. And I'll throw in one of the biggest secrets here towards the end because I've been using this so well. I'm like catching myself doing this now, and I'm like, whoa, this is really powerful. So yeah, I would say it's a little bit of both. And then as soon as we cracked paid ads, Jeff, it was like, okay, here we go. Like it's go time now. Which
so
I'm sure you're feeling this as well. Yeah.
Oh, we definitely are. For context, in case anybody hasn't noticed, like I'm in charge of the Buck Group. I do Facebook ad stuff. I run an agency, and I've paid Omer money to help teach me on how to have a sales conversation through the cold emailing masterclass and stuff like that. And I'm pretty sure I use your sales decks as well. What's really, really interesting is when you crack paid ads, it's difficult to fail.
Correct.
It's difficult. You have an offer that they want. You walk them through the process. You say, when would you like to start paying me money? But you can't get to the point where it's difficult to fail unless you go through the difficulty first. And I don't like it when people skip their learning process. I think you have to go through freshman to go to sophomore and junior. It just, the universe rewards you that way.
I agree. And I'm sure one of the things, before you say this, one of the things that I'm sure you see all the time, whether they join this group or that group, doesn't matter, is that they start off day one, never running agency, not knowing anything. They start with paid ads. And I'm like, dude, that's like consistently going to nice restaurants and always getting dessert first.
Yep.
Never getting the steak, never, like you're skipping all these steps. And it's like now when things get hard and because paid ads takes skill, there's a scalability level. There's also times where you have to tweak the ads. It takes creativity. It's hard. You're right. As far as getting the going from the call to the close, yes. But the actual process to get the calls booked, I think that's hard. And I think a lot of people just run into it too fast, but yeah.
Correct. And one of the first bullet points that we talk about is your 2-step sales process that converts cold and warm leads, right?
Yeah.
So what does that look like for you? How's that conversation? And if we could make it specific to like retail clients, like chiropractors or something, then that'd be great.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's 2 types of calls, intro calls, right? And the first call is when someone books with you. The other call is when you reach out to them and book with them. When they reach out, when they reach out and book with you, it's a lot easier. You're getting on the call. You know exactly what they're doing. The hard part is when you're going from cold email or cold call to that conversation. And one of the things that I tell people is that you got to get to the point quick because it's a cold call. You have 2-3 minutes to get exactly what you need to qualify them. And the ultimate goal is to go from that intro call to immediately the demo, whether it's on the same day, the same hour, or the next day. We have up to 72 hours to get that person's attention to see if they can convert. And the reason I say that is because if this person is looking to buy, right, they're in the buying mode. They're like, I need to invest. That means that they're getting targeted. That means that they're
Yeah.
looking. That means that they're actively getting targeted. So if you're a cold caller, you're already at a disadvantage as far as being seen consistently, which means that you have to make a lot more calls and you have to get to the point immediately. And the best way to do that is, hey, Mr. Doctor, whoever you're looking for, I have a ton of inquiries in the area. I need someone to send them to. And looks like you're not advertising right now based on my search. So I was wondering if you're able to, take on an extra 10, 20 patients a month. If not, I'm looking at this Dr. Jeff across the street.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll go to them, right? So putting them in that scarcity mind, and then getting the three most important questions is, what are they doing now? Where are they looking to get to? And why is the time? Why is it now that they want to do something like this? Once
There
I
we
get those
go.
three questions, right? What are they doing? Like what are they trying? Now don't get too deep on it on the cold call or cold email, because I'm going to get deep on it on the demo. I just need to know, hey, are you advertising right now? What have you tried? Right? Where do you want to go?
Mm-hmm.
And I used to say this, and I don't know if you've seen this, Jeff, but I actually switched it. I used to say, where are you now? Where do you want to go? But I actually totally switched that because I feel like that was a little too aggressive. I now talk about your goals. Where do you want to go by the end of the year? If you want to get to 100K, well, we got 2 months left. I'm making the assumption you're pretty close. I mean, they're like 70, 60K, 60, 70K. And they're always going to be like, no, whoa, not even close. I'm like 30K. I'm like, whoa, so you want to get to 100K in the next 2 months? That's crazy. So I get that. And then why now? Why do you want to do this now and not wait till next year or like 5, 6 months from now? Boom, boom, boom. Got it. Awesome. And one of the things that I actually feel like I messed up, so for those of you are listening, I used to book every intro call to a demo, no matter what. What I would do now, and what I'm doing now currently, is if they have the time to take the intro of the demo now, I'll do it now. Because you have to take advantage of the fact that you're not that busy right now. Because eventually, like how Jeff is doing with his salespeople, how I am right now, I might not have time right now. I might not have time until like 2-3 days from now. So if you are pretty empty, try to take the demo right now. They're warm. You're going to be the first person they see. I would rather be the first one they see than the last one. Because I thought the last one, they probably already seen better prices, better offers, all that good stuff. So yeah, I would say that that's typically the frameworks I use.
So you're going through your cold emailing and now the company doing paid ads to get people on your calendar, right?
Yeah.
And there's definitely like a change in tone and change in nerve when somebody signs up at Ops and goes on your calendar. Like it's like they're walking into your store versus you going to them, kind of thing.
Correct.
So like what happens when you pick up that phone and it's like, hey, Dr. Johnson, looks like you scheduled a time. What can I do you for? Do you say what brings you in today? Like, what does that qualification call process look like when they hit your calendar? Is it any different than normal, or is it a totally different conversation?
It is a totally different conversation because this person's interested, and they know that I know that they're interested. There's a reason you booked the call. So one of the things that I got really good with is becoming less and less and less salesy, because once you do this so much, you naturally just become a salesperson. So I start the conversation very, very like rapport building. It's like, hey, Jeff, first things first, I confirm this is Jeff. Jeff, yeah. Hey, Jeff, this is Omir. I see we have a call scheduled for today. Is this still a good time? Yeah, it is. Awesome. Well, I see that you're located in Wisconsin. How's it going there? I know I'm in Georgia. The storms here are awful. How's the weather over there? Oh, blah, 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 blah. Oh, are you, and I see you're in Green Bay. Are you a Packers fan? Nice. And we'll just talking a little bit of football, whatever, because I'm a giant diehard football fan, so I can talk football. Cool. Now we became friends. Anytime I'll give him some sort of a compliment, and then we'll get right into the business, right? First things first is, so what, I think you may have seen one of our ads. So what made you schedule a time with us for today? I always act confused. I'm like, what made you schedule a time with us for today? I'm like, what is it? You could be doing anything else, literally adjusting patients, being with your family, especially if it's on the weekend. I'm like, what you made you schedule a call? And then that right there, they're going to set the frame. Well, I'm looking to scale. Oh, I have a marketing company that's not getting the job done. Man, I've been burnt so many times. I love your offer. Man, your guarantee's insane. And then based on that initial conversation, that initial answer they give me is where I am going in on it. Where I feel like a lot of people are very scripted, like, Where for me, I'm like, okay, they're telling me all their biggest needs. Let me connect the dots.
Yeah.
If you do not know how to connect the dots from their needs, from their wants and needs to become, we're the bridge. All we are, as marketing companies, we're the bridge. This is where they are now. This is where they want to get to. You're the bridge to get them there. That's it. So when they're telling me all the pain points and all the things that they've gone through, or they haven't gone through, or they're new, or they're old, whatever else it is, I'm sitting on those pain points for a while. Now, the biggest difference between a booked intro call from paid ads and something from like a cold email or cold call is that with the paid ads, I can take my time. I can take 10, 15, 20 minutes, dive deep, get really into it. And if they have questions, I will answer it, but not deeply, because I'm doing them a disservice. right?
Yeah.
Especially if you're selling like a brick and mortar company, right? Roofing, HVAC. They're used to going to those places. They're used to seeing and being shown things. So it would be unfair and does not make sense for me to blabber about everything where I'm doing them a disservice. It's like, Dr. Jeff, I'm doing a complete disservice if I just talk about it. What actually would be best benefit for you is for me to walk you through everything that we do, show you exactly what it is that we do A through Z. And if it makes sense and systematically this is exactly what you're looking for, we can begin working together. So I put that on them and then they love that because they're like, well, no, I don't want to be told what to do. That being said, Jeff, I know you know a lot of people that sell through phone. Congrats to them. I know that if I'm spending thousands of dollars, I want to show me what I'm buying. But to each their own.
I have been on the phone and just like you, I actively invest myself. I pay a lot for myself. Like some people spend their money on cars and clothes. I join expensive programs, right? That's where I spend my money, right? And I'll be on the phone with people that are like, hey, Jeff, you're going to be paying me $25,000 today. I was like, great. Where's your sales deck? They're like, no, we're just going to go over the phone. I was like, I don't think that way, right? You got to show me, you got to song and dance me. And like everybody sees how I learn through my lunch and learns. It's all squares, right? And every single person that's close to me has done that, right? Every single person that hasn't, they're on the phone. They're like, yeah, so we're going to do week 1, week 2. I was like, I can't see it. I can't see it. All of my clients, by the way, every single done for you client has bought because of a sales deck. Every single one. And I'm charging $3,000 a month management, right? Like it's insane for me to be like, I'm not going to get that money because I don't want to spend 30, 45 minutes on the phone and on a video call, right?
And one of the things I want to add to that is that I have had people that are literally giving me their credit card on the phone. And I'm like, before you pay me, let's just make sure that this is exactly what you're looking for. Because I've actually taken credit cards without showing them. And guess what? They end up hating everything, not making sense. They're like, what the did I just buy? So now I'm like, look, I already know you're sold. In my head, I'm like, this guy's sold. Perfect. Let me actually walk them through it detail by detail by detail, making sure they exactly know what they're buying. Because we both know, number one, we don't want to charge back. We don't want to do a refund. And the ultimate goal is for them to stay with us past the first month, past the 90 days. So I am doing everything that I would want them to do when I'm sending them leads. I don't want my lead to come in and get cracked and leave. I want them to feel the experience, right? Come in, get x-rays, build a relationship with the chiropractor, right? And to say, and then it really does not matter what niche that says in. I think chiropractic is like a very unique niche, sure, but how I sell is exactly how I want them to sell when the leads are coming in. And I have to, that has to sell with me, right? So that's why I loved it.
So you've had people say like, hey, here's money. And
you go,
you're like, hey, I hear you loud and clear, Mrs. Johnson. I want you to hold on that credit card real fast. I'm not going to lose a sale because we take some time. I just want to make sure I'm going to give you the whole song and dance, and you know what you're buying is that kosher.
Correct. Right. One of the things I'm really good at, and I brag about this, is doing the right thing, because I used to not do the right thing, and then I learned my lesson, and we got chargebacks, and then refunds, and then it's like no one's winning, and really it's losing. So this person giving me credit card on the intro call, great, wow, I won, congratulations, boom, paycheck, awesome. But then they don't know what they're buying, and then they get on the launch call, they're so confused, it's just all over the place. And typically those people that hand me their card on the call without even wanting to see, I don't even want to see it, just take my money. Those typically end up being the worst ones. They're like confused, and they're like, what did we pay for? Like, this is not what I expected. So now I'm like, well, if you don't have time today or tomorrow, I will not make the sale in the next 24, 48, even 72 hours, as long as you commit to showing up to the next call, and then we can get started. Because I got to do this the right way. If I don't do this the right way, you're going to end up like being upset. So
I really like how you mentioned most agencies, yours and mine included, don't make money on the first month. They make their money the second and third. If you're losing clients day 30, you're not actually making money. Hell, maybe you're losing time or breaking even. Well, you're losing a lot of momentum and inertia, right? And I've had clients like we just had a client in Texas. They made an F ton of money, so they renewed, right? We've got another client on a 90-day program. They're going to renew. We've got another client we just signed. We know they're going to renew. This batch of clients, we are forcing them to sit down and do a 30, 45-minute demo. You need to know how this is going to work, more so because you need to be prepared for that onboarding call, right?
Yes,
it's just to set expectations, have an overview. It's like I'm making them watch a VSL before they book a call. Same exact thing, right?
Yes.
I found that saying, hey, Mr. Johnson, I know you want to write me a check. I hear you loud and clear. Let's just review everything when it comes to like referrals. Is that correct? Like you just tell them like, just hold your horses, pump the brakes.
Yes.
I need to make sure that you understand everything so that you get second, third, fourth, and fifth month, right?
Yeah, and here's the thing. They already know what they're getting most of the time. Like a lot of these people, I mean, we're not doing something that's super out of the ordinary.
Yeah.
My biggest thing is I want to confirm with them the quote unquote guarantee, how it works, because that's important. And the ad. Because if they're like, hey, just run ads for me, and then they're like, whoa, $21 ad, I don't want to do that. But then it's like, this is what you just paid for. And this is part of the guarantee. So I have to make sure, like one of the things, like I do not move forward, and this is very important, and I think I've messed up in the beginning a lot. If you guys want to learn something from me, is if I'm taking a demo and this person does not seem excited, they're like, why am I here? I'm stopping the demo. I'm like, Dr. Jeff, like it seems like this is not what you want. The ad is not what you want. We're open to doing that, but we're just not going to get there. If we cannot agree on terms, there is no way in hell this person's going to pay me $2,000.
Yep.
The money is never going to be like, wow, Jeff, you guys are $3,500. Take my money.
Yep.
You have to sell it. They have to be sold completely up to the money. The only reason they don't buy from you is the money. Because if there's any other reasons they're not buying from you, you messed up.
Yep.
Then I've stopped demos on the ads. I've stopped demos on the guarantees. I've stopped demo when I'm showing them the ROI calculator when the numbers don't make sense for whatever reason. And I stopped. I've also disqualified people on the intro call. When you're taking things away from people, you're in a state of abundance instead of continuing like you're trying to sell everyone. It's impossible. Impossible to sell everyone. I have the quote here is like when you try to help everyone, you end up helping no one, which is why Jeff, you're niched, we're niched. Like you have to focus on those little things.
I'll tell you what, it's so interesting. And I made this post like a couple days ago. I was like, look, you're going to have shitty clients like that, these like huge expectations and blame you for anything and everything. Yo, man, let it go. You can't save the world. They've got other demons. It's not your fight. Right. And there's nothing you can do. And this was a mistake I made trying to save the world. And like, for some reason, buy my Facebook ads, it'll save your business. Like, look, if that's your approach, like if you think your ads are going to save somebody's business, they have got a leaky bucket that 99 times out of 100 is way outside of your control that you cannot fix.
Correct.
And everybody wants to be the personal trainer that's helped somebody lose 250 pounds. That's a 1 in a million, right? Like there's so many things outside of your control. What you want is a solid, steady client that has good business practice that wants to take on more customers, right? The easiest way to do that is advertising. But if all their advertising is into a leaky bucket with a front desk that hangs up the phone, when they're late and only show up to work 2 hours out of the day, 2 days out of the week, and have a client sitting in the office saying, hey, your receptionist told me you're on a golf trip during our appointment. What are you going to do? Right. Those are all real examples, by the way, of like bad fit clients. Right.
Yeah. And one of the things I want to add to that is just like we have to get very good at qualifying clients, we have to get very good at disqualifying clients.
Yep.
As I'm sure, Jeff, you've had people sign up to, whether it's this agency, prior agencies, and then you guys are like, dude, we cannot make this work. Like whether it's refunding them, canceling it, and that's on the salesperson. They have to get good at it. And I think a lot of people we want to qualify, get everybody. And it's like, dude, that's not, you literally cannot do that. You're not Apple. Apple doesn't give a crap who buys their phones. Anyone. We're not Apple. We're a service. We have to make sure that this is going to make the money. Well, Apple is like, go entertain yourself. Go do this, go do that. It's a little bit different. I think, it takes time. I think, honestly, part of me getting this, I got disqualified so much that I became good at disqualifying because that's just part of it. So.
And that's just part of people's journey. And that's why it's important to do freshman year, sophomore year, junior year.
Correct.
If you accelerate and you try to do too much too fast, you're going to take on everybody. You're going to get refunds. You're going to get chargebacks. Everybody's going to hate you. You're going to burn out and say like, oh, this isn't working. I was like, it's because you skipped steps. But look, one of the bullet points here is a behind the scenes view of how to hire and train salespeople. They're doing $30,000 a month. And I know everybody here is to be like, oh God, the only reason I'm not successful as a salesperson. That is not correct, right? Nope. If your agency has good bones, if your fulfillment is down and you can take on clients, then you can hire a salesperson. Just like with your clients, if their bones are good, they can take on clients the same way with you. So I just want to preface that. So Amer, tell me what's up.
Huge. I mean, that's huge. Everybody's like, I want to find the next Amer. I want to find the next Amer. I want to find the next Jeff. I'm a unicorn, guys. Like, I'm literally weird. Like, Jeff is, we're weird. We could be home all day and just doing this stuff, like quite literally. Like we could go out and go have fun, sure, but this is what we love to do. It's very hard to find some people like us. If you're looking for that person, virtually impossible to find that person. Marcos is my best friend. Like you also get very unlucky with finding friends. Most people say do not build a business with friends. I agree, hardcore. What Jeff just said is perfect. You have to have your bones, and by bones he means your systems in place.
Yep.
And I'll give you guys an example. Atlas Digital actually. was going through like a little turnover rate where they lost a couple of salespeople and account managers, but because they built such a strong machine, they still, with losing 2 salespeople and an account manager, they were able to find new salespeople. You find a recruiter, it's not hard to find salespeople, really, it isn't. They did 305,000 last month. I talked to Marcos. After losing myself a couple months ago and Ethan, who we both closed 450 clients last year. So we weren't like bad. Obviously, we're pretty good. Because they built a machine, they were able to replace us. And let's say these salespeople quit. They have a machine. Now, obviously, you're going to take a hit here and there. But most people don't have the machine. Most people don't have sales systems in place. They don't have paid ads. When people come to me like, I need salespeople, I ask them for a couple of things. Number one, have you cracked paid ads? That needs to be important to me. Do you have a scalable offer? Because if you crack paid ads and you have the most insane offer, in 2 months, you're going to be regretting that. And I actually know people, Jeff, I'm sure you know people that are the craziest guarantee of all time. You're like, dude, this is not going to work out.
Yeah.
And then third thing is, do you have clients you're working with testimonials? If you have all those 3 things, I think finding a salesperson is not that difficult. There are recruiters. You can pay all these people to find you salespeople. There are, I think, I don't know how many people lost their jobs, but let's just say 1 million people lost their jobs.
Right.
I guarantee you 1,000 of them were good salespeople. Guaranteed. So you tell me that they're out there looking for jobs, but if you think you're going to find a salesperson to build you a business, people have come to me like, hey, it's my first day in business, just started running paid ads. Can I get a salesperson? I'm like, dude, you're looking for a salesperson to build you a business, and then you're just chilling and running ads. Literally impossible. Because now they're hearing your story, Jeff, right? You guys are closing, you have a salesperson. But dude, this was not the case 5 months ago, 6 months ago, right?
Correct.
You have to build it up to now it's being automated. But now your job, there's more pressure on you, right? Now you have more clients to fulfill. You have more things to do. You have more ads to create. Because if you get comfortable, you're going to hit a stale point, and that's not a point anybody wants to be at.
The work that, and my relationship with my agency has definitely evolved over time. So for context, I got hit hard with Corona, had to restart everything, started running ads, started getting clients, stuff like that. By the way, myself, I was the I was the ads person, the qual call person, the demo person, and then I had a fulfillment person, right? If I didn't have that person, I'd be doing it myself. So I did all 4 or arguably 5 positions, right? As I got on clients, I would write down ways of working, documentation, SOPs for that position, and then say, all right, we're going to get a person who can do this. Cool. And now I can do these other jobs better. And then when I made enough money, I would do SOPs, document way of working for that position. I can now, let's just say for whatever reason, our ads person's like, look, I'm out. It's like, okay, great. Here's the manual we've already written. Give that to the next person. And while I do not want to be in a position where like they leave, and I do not want to be in a position where I have to train a person, if shit hits the fan, I can. Right? I literally have training academies, which is just me and my screen talking through stuff. Right?
I love that. This is why I respect you so much, because you have done it yourself. One thing that Jeff is so good at, and he's always been ever since like a very first conversation, you will never ask a person to do something that you will not do yourself.
Correct.
And I think a lot of CEOs, a lot of owners, they're asking cold call, they're asking to build ads, and they don't even want to touch it. That makes me cringe. Joel and Marcos have never asked me to do something that they would never do themselves first. And that's why I always was like, oh, sure, I'll do it. Yep, I'll do that. They do it, I'm doing it. So putting yourself in a situation, I think this also took you time to get to this level, right? With failing COVID. I mean, for us, we went from 220 chiropractors to like 40. With a team of 25, 30 people. Like, I hear all the time, some people, as I'm sure you know, like, dude, they lost like 3 clients. I'm like, cool. We have a team of 30 people. Like, you know what I mean? Like, this is different. Like, this is a different ballgame. I'm not saying it sucks losing 3 clients, 10K a month. Like, I get it. But yeah, I think doing it yourself and figuring it out by yourself, and building, most important thing with the agency, and this is what Joel was able to do, and this is what you're doing now, Jeff, is building the machine where it's not people dependent, it's systems dependent.
Correct. Because
people are replaceable. Like, I'm replaceable, you're replaceable. Like, look, if I don't step up and sell more, I'm replaced. If you don't level up your marketing skills and your ad copy and all that stuff, the market will replace you. So we're all replaceable. What's not replaceable? Systems. You always want to update and upgrade and go from there.
So one of the key points that I want everyone to notice and realize is that Omer said something really smart, which is like, if you're hiring a salesperson to build your business, you are not building your business. There is 2 fundamentally different structures and 2 fundamentally different ways of working. If you are hiring a salesperson and saying, oh, now that's all I need, it's going to be great and everything's fine, that's just as bad and no different than a failing chiropractor, doctor, dentist, lawyer saying, you know what, all I need is a Facebook ads agency. That's incorrect, right?
That's a great analogy.
Like, you take on those clients, you're going to have a bad time. And if you take on a salesperson without those ways of working, you're going to have a bad time. More so when Omer and everybody in the Butt Tribe or Ass Fam or Butt Group or Cutie Booties, whatever fun, right? Is like when we say systems, all we're saying is a different word of how you're doing what you're doing and did you write it down? How you're doing what you're doing and did you write it down? You run an ad, what does the ad look like? What are you checking on a daily basis or weekly basis? When somebody comes in, what is the SOPs? Do you send it to a Calendly or a Schedule Once? What does that phone call look like? Do you have videos on how to do it? And then all the way through. We're now rebuilding our internal way of working, SOP, Google Drive of all our different positions. And every time we do it, we get better at it. And every time we do it, we're less person dependent. And I know in 3 or 6 months, my job and my agency will massively change. But there's going to be another Jeff sitting right here, not in this chair, but you know what I mean? He's going to have all those documents right there. And when I click on, I've got a bookmark right on top of my screen right here. It says, my agency name, SOP index. I've got 40 Google Docs. When you have that, you've got systems, you've got SOPs, you've got ways of working. If you are the fundamentally failed business owner, you're like, I'll figure out as I do it, you're not ready for a salesperson, right?
Yeah.
So was there like something else like in the behind the scenes of like how to hire and train a salesperson other than making sure that your agency is prepared and you're not a failing business and you can bring on a salesperson?
Yeah, I mean, I think those are the most important things. Number one, let's make that very clear because there is other things that are definitely important, but having the systems in place, social proof, like not being people dependent. Like, of course, you want to depend on people, but if that's all you're depending on and you're hoping that these people you're bringing in are going to save your business, terrible. Steve Jobs depended on himself and Steve Wozniak. They were like, just us two, we're going to create a freaking machine, whether it's this person's going to help us or that person or this person. Same thing with Zuck. Like these people depend on themselves and what they're building, which is why they're where they're at. So put that aside. There are other things that are very important. I think, especially when hiring a salesperson and an account manager, you want to be able to trust them.
Yeah. I
think that's very important. If you cannot trust this person with your business, because you're essentially handing them, hey, here's the potential to make $2,000 for the company and $500 for yourself, or zero. And you're doing that over and over and over again. If you cannot trust this person's going to show up to their calls, be there, look nice, like there's a lot, he's got to check off all the boxes. I think that's huge. So what we did actually, it's funny, we said don't build your business with your friends. I actually ended up hiring I ended up hooking up like about 8 of my closest friends that I went to middle school with jobs. Like 3 of them are account managers, a few of them are salespeople, because I knew that one thing I do not have to worry about them is trusting them. I knew that I can trust them. So first things first, trust. Secondly, is the practice. I think a lot of times agencies are hiring people and they're just throwing them in the mix. They're like, here you go, hiring, good luck, here's what you need to do. Well, what we do is every single day for 1 to 2 hours a day, we're practicing. We are listening to calls, intros, demos, going over everything with salespeople. Then we're hiring account managers. We're going over client retention, who's doing what. We do, what is it called? We like cold call our active clients, like doing market research to make sure that they're like calling the leads. So we're like checking in on them.
Oh yeah, secret shopping.
Secret shopping, yeah, there we go, secret shopping. So doing things like that to get them prepped because we want to start them slow, right? You don't want to just toss in a salesperson, here's a list, go, good luck, like go call people. You want to nurture them in, look slowly but surely, and then as time goes on, probably within a month, they should be good to go. But I think a lot of times is like this agencies, like you said, they're because they're growing. Sometimes it's great. It's like so much chaos is happening, and they're hiring a salesperson, and they're not training them, and then they're expecting their expectations for the salesperson through the roof. And the salesperson could be good or maybe not that good, and then next time they're gone. They don't have a job, or the salesperson quits because they're like, dude, I don't even know what happened. I see that all the time because the turnover in this industry is very high, like higher than it should be. And I think the number one reason is because the agency doesn't have their shit together. And then I think there's not enough training and practice going on. And last but not least, I think that the expectations are a little off. Like, I don't care where you are. If you're 100K a month, if you're 10K a month, if you're $1 million a month, you have to set the right expectations with the person based on their skill sets, based on what you're needing from them, based on what all those dependencies are. So the agencies that see thriving, as I'm sure you see that all the time, Jeff, in your group, when they're hiring someone and they're doing exactly what I just said, it's so easy for them to hire and keep people. Like it's so easier. It's so much smoother. And you're building a business.
Yep.
I genuinely believe anyone that's doing 10, 20K a month, it's like a hobby. You're doing good. High five. You're probably collecting, 5, 10K a month. Nice. Once you cross the 40, 50K a month, probably right around 100, right? The goals for you, like crossing $1 million. Now you have a business in place.
Yeah.
Now you have a lot of people depending on you. And all those little things that I just mentioned are vitally important as anything else.
So I remember watching some video by Alex Hormozy, and he talks about the best relationships have low expectations and high commitment. And the worst relationships have high expectations and low commitment, right?
Correct.
I remember talking to our salesperson. By the way, he is friends with Marcos in real life. We had no idea, right? I'm not going to mention my salesperson's name, but it's the strangest world of coincidence, right?
Wow, that's crazy.
And he and I talked. I remember I put out a salesperson post inside this public group. He responded, and I watched the Loom video, and I was like, I like the cut of this guy's jib. He's like more emotionally in tune. He's very San Diego. How are you feeling? I'm pretty sure he says vibe a lot. I don't, right? And I was like, that's who I need, right? Like I need somebody that can take me in my sales role at 80%, which is already working, and move it to 90 or 95%. That's what I wanted. And you know what the expectation was, hey, Alex or whoever, this is what's going to happen. You're going to understand the expectations of clients coming in. You're going to listen to me do my qualifying calls. They're all, by the way, in our like company course area. And you're going to do a couple shadows of me doing an actual real life call, whether I collect on the call or not. Then you're going to do the next 3. And then we're going to figure out if this is working for you. If not, no harm, no foul, no big deal. He's been closing 1 out of 3 ever since. At no point have I ever felt like, what is he doing? Everything is bad. At no point has he ever felt, what am I doing? Everything is bad. And what was funny is before he finally came on board, he and I had a conversation, and I was like, look, Alex, we're both in high demand. We can work anywhere in the world. If at any time I'm not giving you the quality that you need, you're going to leave. And if any time you're not doing your demo presentation to a high quality, you're going to leave. Would you like to do something together? Right? If for whatever reason that relationship is like, look, Jeff, I don't want to move any forward. It's like, hey man, I get it. No big deal. I can get a new salesperson fast. Correct. Right? My company's not hampered. But here's the kicker. And it goes exactly what you said, Omer. The bones were built first.
Correct.
I did not rely on a salesperson to build my business. We built it first and then brought a person in. Everybody here understands the idea of a factory. You build a factory first, and then you bring the position in, right? You don't bring the technician in to build a whole factory. Nope, factory first, and then the technician, then the assembly worker, then the salesperson, things like that.
Correct.
So we've got about, I'm going to let you finish up in 2 seconds. We got about 10 minutes left, by the way. Omer, are you open to like a couple 15-minute strategy sessions and stuff like that?
Of course, absolutely.
Okay, cool. For everybody watching, now is a Q&A call. If you have any questions, put them in the chat. And if you'd like to be entered in a chance to win a 15-minute conversation with Omer, that just sounds kind of funny. Just hashtag Omer my face. I'll pick 3 of you and do a group chat. You guys can have a 15-minute call, stuff like that. But Omer, what were you saying or anything like that?
Yeah, no, I love that, Jeff, because like I'm thinking in my head, like if your sales guy tomorrow goes, hey, Jeff, I have a better opportunity, F off. You're going to be like, you're going to be hurt because, you know, he's been with you for a little bit. But if he has a great opportunity to make $1 million, you're not going to be like, well, I'm not going to pay you that. So good luck.
Right.
Guess what? The next day, you post in the group, post in the other groups, you're going to be able to find that person. And you now have, you've proved it to yourself. Because before, it's one thing to sell when you sell, because you might be a great salesperson. It's a whole nother thing when you find someone, teach them, train them, and then now they become that. Now, Jeff, you're so confident that you can replace this person that that's the ultimate goal. And I think a lot of people, I mean, I can't tell you, I'm sure you get this more than I do. How many people come to me, Jeff, I think I need a salesperson now. Like I just can't do this anymore. And it's because they don't want to do sales on stuff. So I told them, like, if you're at the beginning stages and you hate sales, you don't want to get better at it. Like you don't put any time into it. The only way you can do it is you partner up with someone and you give 50% of your business for them to do sales. That's it. You have no other choice. This industry is built on sales initially. The ultimate goal is fulfillment and growing and scaling, sure. But initially, it's sales, and that's the bloodline. If you have you're continuously selling high at the high point, 80-90% of closes, let's say, or 70%, right? But you're only keeping 10 to 20% of clients, which is terrible. At least you have something that's working, right? Yeah. So you have money, you have resources. Now you're able to outsource. You're able to find maybe fulfillment. Because I genuinely believe sale, at least in my experience, Jeff, maybe not yours, I think that the number one reason people do not scale their business or even start or quit or go to a different industry is they don't know how to set appointments consistently, day by day, week by week, month by month, and they don't know how to close. If you are doing these at a high level, like how Jeff is doing with his agency, how Alice Digital is doing, then everything else is going to be a lot simpler in a sense, because there is things that are obviously complicating, but
there's something strange about like the new economy, like the closer you can sit to your clients and customers, the more money you'll always make. That was fundamentally different like 10, 15, 20 years ago, like when our parents grew up in this economy, which was like your clients are coming to you. Not anymore. You got to go to them, right? You can go to them with an ad. You can call them. You can be in front of their face, all that fun stuff. That's where the dollars are. And if you are afraid of talking to clients, if you're afraid of saying, hey, I can solve that in exchange for money, if you're afraid of saying, would you like that American Express or Visa, you're going to hurt. You're going to have to give a lot away to incentivize someone else to build a business for you. And fundamentally, you're not going to grow in the way that makes a lot of sense. So we're going to bring this to a close. We have 6 minutes left. If you have any questions, now is the time. Omer is donating his time to give back to the community, to give back to like how he's built his. And just like I feel like I see like people in the group, I'm like, man, I remember that pain, right? I remember that feeling. And if there's one person in here that's saying, I was thinking about going to Whole Foods and going back to college, I hope that the interview with Omer has helped.
To me, the whole thing is the thing with Jeff. If we could just motivate one person a day, one person a week, just to figure this out, because this career, this journey is so fun when you cracked it. Because I get to do this at any point. I'm actually going to Colombia next weekend. I'm going to Puerto Rico in a month and a half, going to Mexico in January. Like, you get to do this shit all the time. You get to travel, you get to make calls and help people. Like, I get thanked all the time, which is crazy because before the only people that think of me are my passengers. So it's fun, but it's also really difficult in the beginning. I think the beginning part is by far the hardest. If you guys look at Jeff 2.5, 3 years ago when he first started this journey to where he is now, it's like, he probably talks about it all the time. It's like a completely different person. But that Jeff could have been like, man, maybe I should try it. Maybe I should open up an e-com store. Maybe I should like get into real estate. Could have quit at any time. You could have quit after COVID. I mean, how many people left the agency space after COVID? I love it actually, because it cost per lead was never lower for us because all these people left. I'm like, all right, great. Well, it's time to rock and roll. So
very cool. Well, we got 2 questions. Matan says, how did Omer become such a beast? I think we talked about that in the interview, right? Like it's not like this type of thing. Looking back, the stars line up. But Omer, tell me if I'm wrong here, but every decision, every fork in the road was fraught with such fear and uncertainty and non-security, every decision, right?
Correct, 100%. I knew that I was replaceable as F, so I knew that if it was, I have a quote here, if it's meant to be, it's up to me. If it's meant to be, it's up to me. It's meant to be. And I tell myself that like literally every day, it's meant to be, it's up to me. Because at any point, I can, at one point I could not have a job. Now, thankfully, if don't fire me, I'm sure I'll get a couple phone calls here and there. But outside of that, I knew that there was just, I had to figure it out. I had to figure out perseverance and consistency. Perseverance, consistency. You want to get good at anything? You might not become the next LeBron James, but I promise you, if you dribble a ball every day, you take 1,000 shots every single day on the basketball court for a whole year, you'll be pretty good at pickup basketball.
You'll beat everyone who doesn't. That's for sure.
Exactly. And you'll compete. I'm not saying NBA again. I mean, there's obviously like magical talent that comes with it, but you'll be pretty damn good. So instead of dribbling and shooting basketballs, I knew that was not going to take me anywhere. I was just cold calling and selling and trying and getting to go. I went to see a chiropractor. Here's a tip for a lot of you guys. If you're in the brick and mortar industry and you don't have any clients, go to your nearest person, chiropractor, dentist. Go in, go get evaluated, and try to pitch them right there and then in person. It's actually a lot easier to pitch in person than it is over the phone because they get to meet you and genuinely make a relationship. And you don't know that person is going to be your next huge referral partner. And I'm saying this because Marcus and Joel did that. And shout out to Dr. Brian, Dr. Jen. They're literally our biggest referral partners. And they've referred us 20 to 30 chiropractors. 20 times 2K, you guys do the math, a lot of money. Just because Joel and Marcus drove up an hour, went to Fort Collins, and did what they needed to do. So I think a lot of people miss on that point. So
last question right here. This is from Shari Colbun, totally butchered her name. She says, I'm struggling to stand out against other digital marketers. What
Mm.
should I do?
I'm gonna answer, but I want to hear your answer to this too, Jeff. Because
The biggest challenge that people have when they say like I'm struggling to stand out is because they haven't customized their pitch. They
Correct.
don't know what their clients actually want. They're doing
Correct.
what I did, which is running around town saying, buy my Facebook ads.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And by the way, it's going to be real hard to beat $5 a day when Facebook is saying, hey, for $5 a day, you can do this on your own. Right. So instead, what you have to do is say, Mr. Johnson, here's proof I understand your problem. Ask him questions.
Correct.
I understand your problem. We have a custom built program that involves 6 or 7 steps given a really cool name like the Wallet Out campaign. These are the steps we're going to go through. Here's some proof and results. Would you like to see how this works? Now, you don't have to stand out. Now there's nobody else with the tap system or the Wallet Out campaign or the plus marketing or anything like that. So that's kind of my response.
I love that, but let's pretend like you don't have any testimonials, right? This is what I would do. So that's a great point. What Jeff said, 100%. If you keep getting that answer, that tells me that somewhere along the lines you're not building the value to your company or yourself, and you're copying someone. Like Jeff gave you his demo, and you literally took it, and you're using the same pictures, the same frameworks. You're not changing anything, and I hate that. I tell people, I'm like, guys, this demo, especially if you go after chiropractors, we have a lot of chiro agencies that get into 7FA, and they literally take everything that we have and they copy it. I'm like, do you understand that I've pitched this myself 5,000 times? Trust me. My sales guy another 2,000 to 3,000 times. That's 8,000. There's only 40,000 chiropractors. That's like almost half the market has seen this. So what are we doing? So number one, yes, customize it. Become creative. You're a marketer. I tell this all the time. I'm a salesperson, so thankfully I don't have to think of $2 much. I can, I'm a little bit more a salesperson. Obviously, I coach and all that stuff, but I don't have to be that creative person that you guys have to be because you guys are running an agency. You have to think outside the box. But if you keep getting this, why not tell them, let me prove this to you. Let me put my money where my mouth is. All I'm asking for is your ad spend. If for whatever reason, after 30 days, after 2 weeks, this does not work, well then all you lost is a little bit money on your ad spend. But I will guarantee you that if you make this work, I will work for you. We'll be partners for the rest of for the rest of the year, or whatever else it may be. Put your money where your mouth is. If you're so confident you're going to deliver results, ask them for ad spend. Put them. I like doing a week trial. I don't like doing more than a week trial. After a week, they're going to be like, holy shit, so many leads. Awesome. Let's partner up. So and then guess what? That trade, when they're happy now, testimonial. Boom. Now you got your first testimonial.
I have 2 people on my calendar for an onboarding call for a 36-hour trial, and I gave them that exact same spiel. Look, I ain't got nothing to prove because I got no testimonials. I got no proof, nothing. All I'm saying is I want to do this. You just got to pay $100 for the X number of days of ad spend. At the end of these 3 days, we'll know if it works. If you like it, would you feel comfortable leaving me a video testimonial? That's it. Now you do that 5 or 6 times. You can do that in 10 days. Now you've got a proof page that's 10 videos deep, screenshots, images, ads managers, texts, $signs, and you're good.
That's it. Do not overcomplicate this process because the fact that a lot of people are asking this question, I'm sure, I don't know if this is your first week, first day, whatever. If you're already asking this question, there's people in your industry that already figured it out. Someone somewhere has figured it out. This is why if I start an agency tomorrow, I would go after a saturated niche because I'm like, well, Jeff has done it. Oh, Alice Digital's done it. Oh, this guy's okay, cool. They've done it. Let me see. I'm gonna follow hack them, see what they're doing. I'm not gonna copy them, but now I know, okay, well, this is what's working. Great. How can I be creative and use some of what they're using, but also make it a little bit of mine? Guys, we literally can look at everybody's ads. You know how many people copy our ads, copy Jeff's ads? It's amazing. It's like Facebook is literally like, hey, you want to be successful? Great. Go look at other people's ads and good luck. Like, go ahead and use what they use. So again, this is a very simple game, but it's not easy. This is why most people fail, because it's so simple. Here's Facebook ads. Buy it. I want more people to buy it. Get them results. Get more people. That's it. And it's a very simple process. The problem is it's so simple that it's too simple, and I think people are overcomplicating the process and then starting at ground zero. So
well, Omer, always a pleasure having you. We're going to bring this to a close.
Yep.
Everybody, Omer, that's it.
Yes.
See you later. Bye.